Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Clutch here, and today guys, we're back in the NBA 2K20. I hope you guys are all having a great day, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another two-way build. Today I'm going to be showing you guys kind of like it's a two-way build that's almost similar to like Klay Thompson, Trevor Ariza. I've already done a video on Klay Thompson, but I feel like this one's a little bit different, and you get a different build name, so I thought I might as well do it. This one is a little bit different, and overall I really like this build, but this is a great two-way build. It's almost like Jamal Murray, Klay Thompson, Trevor Ariza, Robert Covington almost-esque build. Now I know this build you can guard 1 through 3 pretty easily. Now the only thing with this is I wish you could make this build a little bit bigger, but in 2K when you make small forwards, they're like just really broken. So I'm just going to show you guys a skill breakdown for this build that you're going to pick is the defending and the shooting skill breakdown. Obviously, that makes sense if you're going to make a 3-point scorer that can also defend. Now, for this physical profile, I feel like there's two you can pick from, and it's this one here, the main speed one, which is a really good one. Or you could go speed and vertical. This way, you're getting a plus 13 on your vertical. You're losing, it looks like, 4 steal and then 4 excel. Otherwise, really, you can pick whatever you prefer. I say the speed one is probably almost the better choice. It really depends. I mean, it depends on how you want to play, and really the vertical one is great as well. It's up to you. I'm going to go the vertical one, though, with the speed, just because I like having more of a balanced build, especially when you're like more of a two-way type player. This way you can get more elevation and grab rebounds a little bit easier, things like that. For these attributes, guys, I'm going to go ahead and spend these. Now, what I would do is you're going to want to max out, most things you would on any normal build. I'm going to, throw these up. And then along with my pass accuracy, my ball handle. Also going to throw my standing dunk up to a 40, so that'll give us 8 finishing badges, and really you could leave it at 39. That works just as well. And then this free throw, guys, I'm actually going to take this down to an 85, and then I'm going to spend the rest of this. I'm going to upgrade my perimeter D, my lateral quickness, defensive rebound, and then I got 58 points left. I'm going to upgrade my steal here, and then I'm going to spend the rest on this block, but really you could put this wherever you'd like. But then this is going to give us 8 shooting badges. This is going to give us a total of 8 finishing badges, 14 shooting, 10 playmaking, 21 defensive badges. So overall, this build is very balanced. And if you wanted, what you could do is I could say you could take down your block and spend this on like your post fade to give you yourself 16 shooting badges if you want to get more shooting badges. It's really up to you. Either way you could do it, and you could like take your standing dunk down if you wanted. I'm not going to mess with that, though. I'm going to leave it how I had it and give myself 21 defensive badges. Now really you could spend those on the perimeter or interior D, post moves, really wherever you'd like. I'd rather have those 2 other defensive badges. So this way we're going to have 8 finishing, 14 shooting, 10 playmaking, 21 defending. This build is pretty well rounded. You can pretty much do anything on the floor with this. Body shape, I am going to go with defined, and for the height, guys, for a point guard build, I'm going to go 6'5". So being 6'5", you could guard guards. You can guard a little bit, maybe 6'3", 6'2" guards. You can also guard small forward, since in this year, the biggest small forward most people make is a 6'7" small forward. Occasionally you'll see like even 6'7" power forwards this year, because if you make a power forward or a small forward that's 6'8", you're extremely slow, and then you play more like a post player, then you're just better off making the player like 6'9" or 6'10", unless you're making that playmaking glass. So I'm going to go 6'5" for this height. It takes the speed down a little bit, but your vertical is still really high with a 90 vertical. So we are going to go with the height of a 6'5" build. Now, for the weight, you can really do whatever you'd like. I would say you'd want to go lower, though, for this build. I wouldn't say you want to go too low, but really, there's multiple good options. I think I'm going to go with like 179 pounds. To me, it doesn't really make much difference to go any lower. So I'd say go at 179. That way you're getting +2 your lateral quickness, you're getting some vertical and some excel back. You're losing a little bit of strength, but I feel like 179 is a good choice. The wingspan does a few funny things here. Depending on where you put the wingspan, you get different names for this build. Considering that this is a lock build, I want to leave the wingspan a little bit higher. Now really, if you'd like, you could take this down to an 80.7. That would change the build name, though. If you go even lower, it'll change it. It'll probably leave it the same if you minimize it, but I'm going to leave it in the middle with that 81.6 wingspan. So this way we'll get a decent, our wingspan will help, because if we go any lower, it'll ruin our defensive attributes a little. I mean, not too much. You can go 80.7. I feel like that's a good choice. But I'm going to go 81.6 to keep it as close to a defensive player and more of a two-way type player, because I feel like your two ways should kind of have an average style wingspan. So we're going to go with the 81.6 wingspan. But want to create like more of a defensive player, you can go higher. Offensive player, you can go lower. But I'm going to leave this in the middle at an 81.6 inch wingspan. Now, guys, guys, for this build, you get 4 takeover options. You can get lock takeover, playmaking take, spot up shooting, or slashing. All these are really, really good options. They're really good for this build. I would say probably go spot up shooting, lock takeover. I'm going to go lock takeover for this build just because I feel like with the lock takeover, it seems to almost help you shoot a little bit better, and overall it's easier to get probably than spot up shooting. So I'm going to go lock takeover because I want to, have this true two-way build. And I almost hope 2K in the future, they bring back like double takeovers where you can pick 2 different takeovers. I feel like that would be really sweet, guys. But I'm going to go lock takeover for this build. And for our build name, guys, this one's a little bit weird. We're going to get a 2-way 3-point facilitator. So this is something a little bit different. Now, I know it says Steph Curry, but I really don't think it's similar to Steph. That's just my opinion. This is Dejounte Murray, but a lot of builds say Dejounte Murray. Also Steve Francis, but I feel like this is almost similar, more similar to Klay because he can pass, and it's almost similar to like Jamal Murray because he passes, he plays defense. He can score pretty much in every facet. This build has pretty high driving dunk. I don't feel like this represents Steph really at all. Even though the build is 6'5", I think Steph's 6'3", so I don't really even know why he's in the conversation of this for like the similarities too. But overall, this build's different, and it gives you a different build name if that's what you guys are into. So I feel like this is a very, very good 3-and-D type build, and it's one of the best ones out there overall. And it's just a different one. It's special because most people do not have a 2-way 3-point facilitator. Occasionally, you'll see the 2-way sharps, but rarely this one, guys. So I'm going to show you the badges I would throw on this build. All right, so guys, what you can do for these badges is for the finishing badges, I'd put contact finisher on gold. I'm going to put consistent on bronze, fancy footwork on silver, and really you could leave that on silver. I want giant slayer, relentless finisher, and slippery finisher would be another badge I would like. So if you wanted, you could put fancy on bronze and then add slippery finisher. There's a few of these you could take away. I would say you could take away relentless and put fancy on gold if that's what you wanted to do. But this is probably what I would do for these finishing badges here. I'd probably leave that on silver and put relentless there on bronze, giving us 1 gold badge, 1 silver, and then 3 bronze badges. For these playmaking badges, I'll go ahead and do these. I'd put handles for days here on gold. I'd put quick first step on silver, space creator on silver, and I'd add unpluckable, stop and go, tight handles, all on bronze, and that way I feel like you have a pretty good range. Now really you could take this gold handles for days and put this on quick first step if you'd like instead, really whatever you prefer, either one works, but I would have unpluckable, tight handles, and stop and go just to help out. And space creator will help with this build to get space when you're shooting the ball, especially. It works very well to help shoot off of, and you can do some step backs and things with that. Now with these shooting badges, guys, I'm going to put quick draw on silver. Again, that's my opinion. We only have 14 shooting badges, which is quite a few, but I'd obviously prefer more. I'm going to leave it there on silver. Now what you can do is I'm going to put range extender here on gold. I want difficult shots on gold. I want Deadeye here on silver. Honestly, I'm going to put range extender on Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. Catch and shoot would also be a great badge for this build. If you want to play off ball, you could stand in the corner and that would work well. I'd at least have it on bronze just to have it. Other 2 points, I'm going to spend these on Hot Zone Hunter, but that's just how I would do this build. That way you're rounded very well. And obviously if you don't have your hot zones, I wouldn't use that. I would use Green Machine probably instead of that. But that's what I would probably do for these shooting badges for this build, guys. Now, guys, for these defensive badges here on this build, what I would do is I would take Intimidator here up to Hall of Fame. You're obviously going to want that. You're going to want to be able to play defense against people on the perimeter, and this will help along at the rim, too. Overall, Intimidator, I'd throw in Hall of Fame no matter what. Clamps, again, I'd throw in Hall of Fame so you can play good perimeter D with this build, and that's just a good badge to have with this build. You got 21 defensive badges, so overall, that one's a necessity for playing perimeter D when you want to guard the 1 through 3s here. Now, I'm also going to add Chase on Artist here on silver. I feel like that will definitely work for this build. You have a decently high vertical. Your vertical is actually pretty high, and you'll be able to, get some cool blocks with this, chasing people down. And I'd also add Rim Protector on silver to pair with Chase Down and Intimidator. I feel like those are some good badges that chain together. Interceptor here on silver. I feel like that's something you're going to want for this build. You can play the passing lanes especially well with silver Interceptor just fine. So we're going to throw that on there. Now, I'm also going to put Pick Dodger on silver and Pickpocket on silver. So then we got 3 spots left. I feel like Pick Dodger and Pickpocket are almost apparent for this build. I feel like Pickpocket any higher, you don't even need it. It doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm going to put Trapper and Pogo Stick both on bronze. That way, Trapper to help with clamps. You'll be able to, corner people, especially if you're running them baseline. Usually, that's when they'll pick the ball up. Especially with having Trapper on bronze, that should help with that. Then Pogo Stick to help, just with Rim Protector or any defensive stance when you're trying to get a block on somebody. Pogo Stick should help. Now we got this 1 spot left. Now you can throw this wherever you'd like. I'm gonna put it on Interceptor, but you can put it on Rim Protector, Pickpocket, or Pick Dodger. Even Chase Down Artist if that's what you'd like. Or you could maybe put it even on like Moving Truck if you wanna think your people are gonna try to post to you, or like rebound chaser or off-ball pest, really. You could put it wherever. I'm just going to put it on interceptor. There's other places you could put that badge if you wanted another bronze badge. You can throw it on trapper again or BOGO stick, really, wherever you'd like. This is what I would do for these defensive badges for this two-way three-point facilitator, guys. I feel like this build is pretty good. You know, it's a build that can do pretty much everything on the floor. It is very rare. I have not seen many two-way three-point facilitators out on the park at all. This has probably been one of the builds I haven't seen much at all. I've seen the two-way sharpshooters a little bit more than I have seen this. I've maybe seen this one a few times, not very much at all. I really don't even know how many times. It's not common at all, and I feel like this, you know, represents like a Trevor Ariza, Robert Covington, Klay Thompson almost type build. And I wish you could build this build a little bit taller at like a small forward, but having a small forward in this game, if you don't pick the pure playmaking pie chart, is kind of difficult. It just made it, 2K made it extremely hard to have a decent, good small forward that's a decent height. Then you're not ridiculously slow. So this is what I would do, guys, to get one of these two-way builds, and two-way builds are honestly my favorite builds here in 2K. If you guys do enjoy these build videos, please subscribe to the channel, guys. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. But anyways, guys, it's been King Clutch here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, and peace out, guys. Thanks.